Hello everyone, welcome to my first YouTube video. On today's episode, we'll be showing you how to use Airtasker. We'll also be showing you how to use Gumtree and look for work. We'll also be providing you some further information about how you can find out more about your vaccine exemptions at work. It's a little bit of a tricky one because it's a bit of a legal minefield. There's a lot of misinformation, but all I can do is provide you with the way to ask for that information. I think if I get into that, it might be a little bit too complicated, but I will make some commentary about it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, so there is a few little videos on YouTube about how to use Airtasker, but what the trick I feel with Airtasker is more around your bidding and making the right bid and kind of selling yourself. So once you do sign up, it's a pretty straightforward process. It's just a matter of putting your name, your address, your date of birth. You can put your business number in. I recommend if you do have a business to put your business number in. It just makes it a lot simpler, although you don't need to. One thing you need to realise about Airtasker is you're going to have to pay tax on it. So, excuse me. So, if it's $100, depending on your tax bracket, you might be paying $15 or $30 or so forth. So you need to sort of, if you're not working now, you got to figure out what you've earned so far, and then use a tax table to work out what tax you're going to need to pay within your profits. So basically you'll end up with a dashboard like this. So you've got your post a task browser. So post a task is if you want to post something so that somebody can come and do something for you. What the one you're interested in is browse tasks. Now if you click on that tab there, so what you'll see here is your region or the area that you're looking for work. On here is the jobs that are available, say in Melbourne, for example. These are all the ones, but these are suggested tasks. So when you first start, you'll maybe doing some cleaning, right? So if you're doing lots of cleaning jobs, it'll suggest cleaning jobs for you and not all the other types of work. So if you want to know what everything that's available, you'll click that off. Always keep this on, but for some reason it always goes to default, especially on your phone. So it'll show you with that not ticked on. So for example like this, it'll show you the jobs that have been bid on and have been accepted and assigned. You don't want that. So I always go with suggested tasks. So you've got your search bar in there. So you say for example you want to do some mowing, so just put in mowing and it'll come up with what's available for you. So you've got lawn mowing here. So if you click on this one, now this is pretty much what you'll see. It'll give a brief description, no small yard, etc. Now he hasn't provided any pictures. Now I recommend, depending if you can guess what it might look like, is to get some pictures from them, just so that you can have some sort of idea how much work is involved, because sometimes, especially with the lawn mowing, they'll go, I've got a small yard, I just want it mowed, but the grass is 4 feet or 5 feet tall, and it's not quite exactly the same as what they show in the picture. So you've got to do a few things. I'll talk about lawn mowing because that's what I did. Now the way I started my lawn mowing is I have a little hatchback and I just put my lawnmower in the back, and I've got some roof racks. I put my whipper snipper on top of my rake, put my lawnmower in the back, and my catcher, you need a blower. I carry some poison sometimes just to do a little bit of weeding, but I try to not encourage that because it's just carrying extra things around and the risks of using poison and so forth. So generally what I'll do is I'll mow small lawns, like little townhouses or a little bit bigger than townhouses, and I ask them if I could put the rubbish in their bin, which is the way to go because then it will be no cost to you, or they put it under their tree or whatever it is. Usually most people are pretty good about it. And I get like a garbage bin, I put a liner in it and I just throw the grass into it and bag it up and throw it in the bin. I do a lot of jobs like that. So just to give you an example, last year earned $8,000 just mowing on the side. So that will sort of get you enough to give you some bit of extra spending money or a bit of extra food or something like that. So they have got a large variety of jobs. I think a lot of people probably may be looking for some nanny work. I'll just have a look. Yeah, see, there's a lot of nanny work, because I understand like a lot of the educated people, educators and teachers and stuff, we're going to be out of work, but there's heaps of work doing nanny stuff. It's just a matter of getting that right keyword in. Like if you want to look for cleaning or cleaning single floors or cleaning double floors or whatever it is, I recommend going for the jobs that you don't have a lot of outlay. Like cleaning, you might need a lot of products, you might need a vacuum cleaner, you know, your mop and everything like that, and you've got to carry it all around with you. But you know, if you're really desperate for money, there's a lot of opportunities there. You know, there can be all sorts of strange things, but once you get the hang of it, you sort of understand like what's available and how you can do that sort of work. What I've learned is just do the simple things. Like I put together some cupboards and beds and all those sort of things. Just the stuff you don't need to carry a lot with you. So that's basically it. But anyway, when you go to bid, so no, that one's assigned. I'll have to see how that one's assigned. No, it shouldn't be there. Maybe because it's a bit further down. We'll just go back to mowing. So when we go back to mowing, say this one, right? So $30 is probably not worth it unless it's something you're going to do regularly. Now, if you want to do it regularly, you just give them the business card. Now, when you make an offer, you'll see it come up with $30. So you can say, oh, okay, well, $60, for example. I usually go between $40 and $60 because I only do the small lawns. But as you can see here, they take off a fee, which is $13.20, and they also charge them a fee. I think it's 10%. So they'll end up paying $66, and you'll end up with $46.80. Now you've got to pay taxation on top of that. So whether it's 15% or 30%, I just work off 30%. So you take off 30% of that, and that's what you're actually going to get. And then you've got to consider the petrol to drive there. So usually I work out, like for me, anyway, I'll just get onto this one. So if you go next, right, see, it usually doesn't like that, but just let the offer go through. But that's the figure that you work off. So if you want to get stuff close, you just put your suburb, whatever it may be. Where is it? Fitzroy is in Melbourne, is it? Victoria, and then you go plus 5 kilometres. I usually go plus 10 kilometres because that'll end up really in reality being 15 kilometres from where you live, and to sort of make it worth it, it's not really worth going beyond that because of petrol costs and so forth. But if you want to get some work and chain them together, like I usually get some work when I go to, I visit someone, my friend, once a week, and I go over to a different suburb, you know, probably 10 kilometres away. So I try to get something around that area. So you try to tie it in the days that you're free. So with a lot of these things, like we've recently, so the date that you'll need it to do is Sunday the 10th. Now these people are pretty negotiable about it. Usually they'll have, like I need, if it's cleaning or whatever it might be, I need to get this done by the inspection on Sunday the 10th. So you need to negotiate with them. So you can say, I'll get this done by Sunday the 10th. And that's the best price I can offer you, and that price is to put the rubbish grass clippings into your bin. Now the way to make money is look for people that are wanting to get it done urgently, like I need this mowed by tomorrow, or I need this mowed within 2 days, and you just put through an offer, put it at a higher rate, and just say, I can do this for you by tomorrow morning, and just send it through and say, you better, if you want to book me now, you better do it by, and give them like a half an hour or 2 hours. Just say it's 10 o'clock, you say, all right, if you want me to do this, I can do it for you before tomorrow, but you need to book me in within the next hour. And my price, say they put $40, you put $60 and say, I can do it for you $60. And they usually jump on it because some people are really, really desperate, or, you know, a bit worried about what their real estate might say. So basically, You've also got my tasks, which is all the tasks that you have done. You've got the notification, which is the messages. So if somebody replies to, say I put an offer in this job, someone will reply for the notifications. And you'll know that, and you can set that up to different types of notifications. It does get a little bit annoying if you've got a phone and it keeps beeping all the time. So I just try to keep that managed. Messages will only work when once somebody accepts the contract with you, they'll start sending you messages. So what I usually do is, okay, you can do this by Sunday. Please accept my offer by 12 o'clock and leave me your address in the messages. So you can walk away, they'll accept it and send you their address. So you don't have to keep chasing them up and asking them constantly, like, what's your address, what time is suitable, blah, blah, blah. I tend to find that works a lot more. So this one here is the price value. Look, if you're gonna go like this, up to say $10,000 or whatever, you're just gonna get lots of different jobs. So you just wanna keep, like for me mowing, I don't really wanna do anything above $100 because I know it's gonna be a large yard, there's gonna be too much work. So you tend to manage that a lot better as well. So that basically is Airtasker. Now they do have insurance with the job, so you don't need to actually get private insurance. If something happens, you need to contact them and then go through their insurance, which is what's really, really good about that. Now, don't try to trick them and put your phone number or try to do an image of your phone number or try to suggest that they'll pay cash when you get there, because Airtasker will just ban you for 1 year and you'll probably likely never be allowed to go back. So just don't try to do anything. Just we really need to read those rules. Just don't give your address. Don't try to suggest, you know, you're going to do it at a special deal or you're going to do it cheaper than everyone else. Well, I usually just say this is the best price I can offer, or I can't. You know, sometimes I'll say, look, I can't do it at that price, but this is my price. You've got to be really careful because it's really like meant to be a system where you bid and nobody else that's bidding knows what your bid is or what it may be. So you just got to be careful about that because people will report you. So that's basically Airtasker. It takes about 2 to 3 days to get your payment, which is what's really, really good. So if you really need desperate for money, you just pull this up, you just look for whatever, and then just go for it. It's worthwhile investing. Like for me, for the mowing, it cost me about $1,000 to get, because you've got to get a commercial mower with 4 blades, proper catcher, proper whippersnipper, not a bent shaft one, a straight shaft one. You know, you need to do all those sorts of things, build up your customer base. So I've pretty much had mowing kind of 1 to 2 mows a week for like the last year. So, you know, you can imagine an extra $50, $100 to spend on something nice, take your wife out for dinner or husband out for dinner is absolutely fantastic. So I really recommend that. Now, Gumtree, which is the next one that I'm going to talk about. Gumtree is, I think, in our situation is a good way to go because probably a lot of the larger agencies, like for example, Healthcare Australia, I don't believe that they're going to go the path of really giving you work in aged care or the hospitals without, you know, your vaccination or so forth. So I honestly think doing Airtasker and doing some stuff, you know, there's some disability work on Gumtree as well, the like private stuff. So let's have a look, and if we go Melbourne CBD, spelled that wrong. Let's have a look. Melbourne City. So if we go Melbourne City, and we'll just make it so it's easy to find. We'll go plus 50 kilometres, right? And then just put in support worker, support work, support disability. Put private in is always a way to go. Sometimes you find something, sometimes you won't. So you'll see that whether it's a company, because they have their logo on the side. If they don't have the logo on the side, it's probably private, usually. So it's just a matter of, no, that's not too good. So probably because Melbourne's so big, there's a lot there. Maybe go down, no, there's not a great deal there at the moment. But it's just a matter of getting those keywords in. You'll find individuals that have their own funding management will be in here. You'll see them as well. But some, it's worthwhile trying some of these smaller organisations that advertise in Gumtree and just giving them a call and see what their mandates are. Now, with Gumtree, yeah, it's all about the keywords. So you click down here and then you've got, make sure you click on jobs. Although it tends to do it automatically when you put in something like this. So you've got your distance and so forth. So it's sort of similar to Airtasker. Like if you put your say plus 10 kilometres, it's kind of like 15 kilometres from where you live. So that's pretty good. You've got your messages up here and so forth. So that's pretty much how Gumtree works. It's pretty straightforward. Now, with the vaccine mandates and mask mandates, look, I'm not here to give you advice on what you should and shouldn't do. Whether you wear a mask at work or don't wear a mask at work, it's not for me to decide because I am not a legal professional. I don't know the right answer for you, but I did go to the nurses talk, which was about 3 weeks ago, and what they said when it comes to the hospital, and it seems to apply elsewhere, is a workplace health and safety assessment needs to be done of your workplace. So if they're mandating the vaccine, they need to prove evidence that the vaccine is needed through workplace health and safety. And I know the Prime Minister did say that as well. It's a workplace health and safety issue. Now, the government said they didn't mandate it, which means that it's up the organisations, companies are mandating themselves, which means that all the applicable discrimination laws apply. And the Prime Minister did say this. He said something like you need to have the vaccines, but if it's one of the discriminatory things like race, age, gender, so forth, whatever it may be. Now, being in Telegram, I know a couple of people have been successful putting in religious exemptions. The reason why religious exemptions work is because, like I said, the government didn't mandate it. The companies' organisations are mandating it, so the discrimination laws apply. So they've said that they've gone to their priest or a priest and got the priest to write them a letter. Now they've said that you need to quote a passage from the Bible or so forth. Now the thing is, people have said that it still failed. Now my understanding is that's when you're going to lose your job, or you might lose your job. They might accept it, they may not, but that's when you've got to go to Fair Work. Now the information about the Fair Work guide around doing that, there is one in the Telegram channels. I have seen people post it, but it's just something that I don't want to get into. And I really, like I said, I just can't advise you what you should and shouldn't do. It's just so people don't keep asking me in the Facebook group, because it's going to come down to, like the Facebook group, I want it to be for employers and job seekers to get together, like almost like a job interview. I mean, the questions when you come in, it's pretty self-explanatory. I do explain to employers when they come in, because of the mandate and restrictions, some people have lost their job, and to be considerate about that and understanding about that. So when they come in, they do understand that. So when you go and talk in the room, expressing opinions, I guess, that are not necessary in that way, because everybody knows why we're in there. I hope that makes sense, but you don't sort of go to a job interview and make an opinion about the government or something like that. So I think, I guess it's okay for people to express themselves, but I just think it should be keeping it clean, because we want to attract employers there, and employers don't want to, they want to do business. They want to get the right employee. They don't want an employee that's, I guess, troublesome or causing problems or something like that. And you also got to think about what you say and whether that's going to come back and bite you in the butt later on. And we also got to remember there's a lot of different types of people there. There's people that are a bit more vocal, and then there's other people that are professionals. Like they've never been in this situation before. Really professional people in that sense. So that to them, it's a bit of a turn off for them. And I just hope that people can sort of see that, and where I'm sort of going with this vision. it's not going to be productive worrying about a lot of these things now, because there's plenty of other groups, and I'll show you the groups that you can go in and talk all these sort of things you want to talk about too, because I just find it's just not productive, and it's not helpful when you're going for a job. You know, I don't think an employer's, like most employers, are going to employ you because of your political alignment or your personal opinion about vaccines, you know, or your personal opinion about masks. Employers going to employ you because they want a good employee. So I'm hoping that people can realise that a bit more, and I really need help to volunteers to get out there and find work. At the moment, I'm messaging people on Gumtree, like people that advertise on Gumtree, to come over. The reality is that you know, to make a proper job board and everything, you know, it's really a lot of money. So what I'm thinking, more than doing that, is having the Facebook one and getting some agencies in, like some larger agencies that are, or even some smaller ones that are okay, and they understand, look, these people are probably looking for a job that they don't want to have a vaccination, you know, and what jobs can you find them? And agencies have probably a mixture of both, ones that require a vaccine and ones that don't. And the ones that don't, they can come over us and help us. And I understand there is people that have had vaccines here that don't agree with what's happening. That's also fine too. I think at the end of the day, what I'm sort of getting at is, we want to go to a job. We don't want a text message saying we've got 2 weeks to do this, otherwise we're not going to have a job anymore. I'm hoping that it's going to be a place where an employer will sit down and talk to us and say, look, the government's said this and we need to do this. We can sit down and work through this. If you've got any help or information to help me work through that, then that's fine, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a really bad crunch. I think by the looks of it, the end of October is going to be the main date for most people. So I just think fiddling around with a lot of other things at the moment is not going to be important. I think we need to make this Facebook room look really attractive and really professional, and doing it by myself is really hard. And I know I've got the moderators, especially Sarah and Helen, admin, and the other moderators have been helping out a lot. I really appreciate that. But, you know, I think, yeah, just looking at the other Facebook groups, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just non-stop spam about conspiracies and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I do like my conspiracies and all that sort of stuff, but I just think this group, you know, we can keep it clean and get it going, you know, and find some work. But to keep it clean means, you know, keeping it clean. And employers, when they come over, they want to see people that are professional and want to look for work. They understand a lot about the way you're feeling. But if you make sort of strong opinions, when an employer comes over, they think, well, if I advertise here, do I have to agree with that opinion that person said, or something like that? Is that what my business has to mean? And I don't think it's going to be like that. So just when you go in and post and all that sort of stuff, just remind yourself of that. I think that's important. You can have those conversations with the employer during private conversations about the way you feel and so forth. I'm sure that would be a lot better than putting it on Facebook, you know, because when an employer sees that, it's probably going to be a bit of a turn-off. So it's just something to consider. Anyway, moving on, because I really want to get this good for you. This group here, Know Your Rights group, they've got a Facebook page, they've got a website, and they've got a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel doesn't work that fantastic because they don't seem to upload them very much. They've got a BitChute too, but I haven't been there. But these guys do talk in depth about the vaccine mandates and your job and how that interacts. But you can find some information. My understanding is you can find some information on their Facebook page. I'm going to leave that to you to do because I just don't have the time to go through it. But usually, like I say, you put in keywords like vaccine mandate or vaccine work or something like that, it'll come up. They do have a podcast. I think it's $4 a week, and they go into really a lot of depth. And apparently, it is it's all like how do you say it, named correctly, so it's easy for you to find and everything like that. So these people as far as I'm concerned, are probably the most straight shooters that I've ever seen. They've explained everything really, really easy. It makes a lot of sense, and I just think they're right on the mark. They're very, very good. So knowyourrightsgroup.com.au is their website. Fantastic. So you can see they've got COVID and vaccinations. They've got books that you buy. So I think it kind of like, if you want basic information or some guide, they'll give it to you. But if you want to get a lot more simpler guide and step-by-step and all that stuff, you buy their books. And their books aren't very expensive anyway. Moving on to the next one. So this is for the nurses, healthcare workers. Now, this is NPAQ, Nurses Professional Associations of Queensland. This is the ones that came into the talk. These are the union, right? So if you're a nurse, like the union's a bit funny. So say, for example, you got the email saying that, you know, you have to leave your job by this date. And then you go to the union a week later or something like that, because it's happened, or, you know, like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, whatever it is, because it's happened after the fact, like with a lot of unions, if it's happened an event, no, sorry, let me correct that. If you've got a letter like a month ago, you have to leave your job, but then you decide, oh, I'm going to join a union to help me. If you've done it a couple of weeks after, it's an event that's happened before you join, so they usually don't help you. A lot of unions, like if it's an event that's happened before you join, they won't do it. But these guys are going to do that for any nurse. Doesn't matter the back date. They will accept it and help you. They've got a GoFundMe going as well. Now, my understanding is they're going to do the construction industry as well. And they're going to do all the industries. So I guess if you're a public servant or in the nurses or healthcare work, even construction work or something like that, even just generally, give them a ring up. They'll probably have the information about the Fair Work. So they're very, very good. I've had a listen to them, and they're fantastic. So I recommend this one here. Now, with Telegram, as I call it, tele-spam, because it's just full of spam. We've got a few different ones here. Let me spin it. So basically, you need to download the Telegram app. You can do it on your phone. It's pretty easy. You put your phone number in. I recommend the desktop app because it's just so much easier to organise things. Now, they've got the National Education United. You just basically type in National Education United and it'll come up. So these are the ones that I recommend. Look, they're full of spam, full of conspiracy spam or whatever, but you can block them. So say, for example, this like this, it'll talk to you, you know, and what you do is just reply to whoever it is. So say, for example, you're getting lots of spam in the room and everyone keeps, this one particular person keeps spamming, you just right click it. Is it right click it there? No, you click on their name and then block user. So you just need to go through the ones that are constantly sending spam messages, and you can block them, and it just makes it so much easier to communicate with them. So see that this one here is just a spam thing. So you can message them directly too. So you can just send them a message. So if you see something there, but what you do is you usually just write something, I need help with Fair Work about my vaccine mandate, what do I do? If you leave that room, say for example you go to this room, it'll come up a little round sort of @ symbol, and you just click on that and it'll take you back to the @ symbol. It's not fantastic, but it works. And then you've got National Education United. Peter Matuk, look, take him with a grain of salt, but at least he's doing something. I think he will help you out if you email him. He has a website as well. AFL Solicitor, these are the ones that are doing the challenge to the vaccine mandates. So they've got some pretty good information here. They've also got a GoFundMe. The thing about GoFundMe, even if you donate like $5, it'll email you when there's any updates. So that's really, really good. I donated $20 to the police one and to this one, and whenever there's an update, it just goes to your email box. It's fantastic. Advocate Me and Peter Matuk, they're doing the similar thing to AFL Solicitor. They're challenging the mandates. I Stand in the Park. Now this is like a march group. So, you know, there's, let me think. there's a few of them. I prefer the Millions March. I think that's a better one. There's a few different ones, but you know, like some of the guest speakers, I don't know, like it's just, I just go there to connect and talk and stuff. I don't really overly pay attention to the speakers too much. You know, it's just, some of them are just not really that fantastic. Yeah, Millions March on Facebook. If you go into that Facebook one and just to any of the threads, just message, say when is the next march or something like that. There's a few of them going on. I know there's one on Sunshine Coast next weekend on Saturday at a barbecue area. I just can't remember what it is. It's just, sometimes the smaller ones are just really hard to find. The Australia Project, look, I didn't find it really that fantastic, but these guys are putting together, see there's a march there. So you just got to go through them and people post them. So look, ACT Queensland, there you go. So you can find, when is it? First, so this is the old one. So you can find a lot of them here, but it's just all the other different ones by different groups. It's a bit hard to find. This one here, Aged Care Workers High Court Challenge. This one is also pretty good if you want to find out some more information. So that's basically it as far as what I've got for my show today. Now, if there's any other questions, you'll have to come to my Discord. Now, I've linked the Discord. I think the Discord is an app. You just download it. Look, I don't like having a lot of apps, but it's a pretty good app, and you can just ask me questions there. I've also got I also have a Telegram, so if we search for it, let's have a look. It's called Reroar. See, Reroar Chatter. You just put it in the search bar, but there's also a link in my discussion page. You can come over there, but this is also jobs related as well. You know, I think I'm just going to try and keep it jobs related, but if you have any questions, I'm going to make a thread about my YouTube and video and so forth. Just leave me any comments or any questions or things you'd like me to try and answer or direct you in the right way. Like I said, it's not going to be political. I'm not going to make commentary on the politicians or anything like that, or suggest to you shouldn't scan QR codes, or you shouldn't be wearing a mask, or you shouldn't be having the vaccine. That's not my place to do it. It's up to you to go out and get that information for yourself and do your own opinion, because obviously every sort of workplace or every sort of area is different, and at the end of the day, I don't want to be dragged into that path, because for me it's about helping everybody get together and finding a job. I know that we can do it, because you know, when you have a mortgage or you have kids and you don't have much money in the bank or so forth, and you know, you're paying, I don't know, Melbourne prices for rent like $400 or $500 a week, like for a small unit or whatever. You know, how are you going to pay your bills? And I think concentrating on just getting people work and getting through it. Like I said, Airtasker, I survived on Airtasker. I survived on it for a long time, and it got me through. So sometimes we just have to do maybe something a little bit uncomfortable, but you can pull up enough money to pay your rent and so forth if you put your mind to it. That's all I have to say. Thanks a lot for your time, guys, and keep letting everyone know about the Facebook group. Please put your hand up to volunteer or moderate. I really need your help. Thank you.